Does this place looks like a sanctuary to you, chat? Tell me, chat. Does this picture scream sanctuary to you, chat?
You're looking at live pictures out of Paramount, California, where protesters have been clashing with police all day outside a Home Depot. It is still unconfirmed whether immigration officials were conducting an ICE raid, but several ICE vehicles have sustained damages, and multiple protesters have now been arrested for an assault on a federal agent.
That's a good start. Yeah, that's a great start.
Follows a night of riots in Los Angeles.
Dude, there needs to be some type of consequences in order to deter these people from doing this shit again.
Following multiple ICE.
Now, I get it if it makes sense. I get the riots if it's for a good purpose that helps the American people. This is not one of those situations.
Raids in the city. Hi, everyone. I'm Joe Concha, along with Lydia Hu, Alicia Acuna, and Guy Benson. The big story tonight. Tear gas
let's see it.
has filled the air as protesters clashed with police last night in Los Angeles. At least 45 people were arrested last night.
That's way too little. Like, there's got to be hundreds of them doing crazy shit like this. Like, you only arrest 45
they can
people.
see.
What the fuck is
only
going on?
45 they can see.
DHS says that more than 118 illegals were apprehended this week. The protester tried to storm into an ICE facility last night after being fired upon by radical speakers at a rally. Listen.
Free them all! Free them all! Free them all! Because an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us! And
I love how they're just like openly
God.
promoting like racial, like basically like racial identity politics. It's like, well, you know, because some people are illegal here. And and who knows whether they even came from the same country. It's so retarded.
Los Angeles does not back down for that kind of fight.
Yeah.
I don't know why they think that they speak for the entire Los Angeles community also. That's my question, right? I think people are pretty tired of this bullshit at this point.
You're fighting until we reconstruct every single institution from the ground up so that we can grant full amnesty for all immigrants. Demand full compensation for all of the victims of this criminal injustice system.
What the fuck do you mean criminal injustice system, bro? Like, most of these people that are being deported are like known criminals, right? If people aren't, they're lawful enough. I don't think they're being touched.
Organizing, and not just any type of organizing, militant organizing.
I mean, if you're gonna make an accusation and like call for people to like militantly organize, and then
that is crazy, dude.
I feel like at a certain point you've got to be accountable for that, right? Like, this is like inciting a riot or some sort.
This is like high treason, chat. This guy is literally instilling treason, insurgency thoughts into people. That's crazy.
Sort of like, I mean, there's got to be some level of accountability here, doesn't there? I mean, come on. Yeah, chill out with the violence. Yeah, everybody's okay with you protesting. I mean, not everybody, but I mean, most normal people are okay with you protesting. But like, if you're going and talking about like a violent protest, like, this is crazy.
Mayor Karen Bass is
People
still
are so
standing
fucking
with the
extreme,
protesters,
too.
saying she's fighting for all Angelinos, regarding
which is insane. You're a
Karen Bass on LA ICE riots. Okay, we're going to fight for all Angelinos. Regardless of when they got here, whether they have papers or not, we're a city of immigrants, and this impacts hundreds of thousands. Oh my God, this bitch is so fucking cooked, dude. She is... I don't understand how she's still able to keep her position in office. She is the definition of running away from fucking problems. Oh my God, this country is so fucking cooked, dude.
Standing with the protesters. What about the people that are getting their stores destroyed? And this is the problem that I see with this. I'm going to be skipping around because I've seen some videos here. Like, this is absolutely not...
Somebody's car
these are
getting
not protesters.
set on fire.
These are rioters. They're burning a car in the middle of an intersection. Like,
throwing up gang signs, bro. This looks like peace to you, chat.
I mean, this is crazy. And if you look at this here, there's even more of them too. Let me see if I can find it. And where did it go?
Sad.
And oh, here's another one.
They know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics. Because community defense works, and our resistance has slowed them down before. And if they're escalating their tactics, then so are we. When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
You've got
Yeah.
it. I mean, at a certain point, until
People's got a
these
lot of
people
fucking balls.
get pulled out and get in trouble with this, it's just going to keep happening. It is. It's going to keep happening until people get held accountable. These are the people that they're standing behind. Look at this.
What the
Look at all
fuck,
this
dude?
stuff. I mean,
This is the people that you want to protect. Okay, technically, these are the people that says want to protect the people that are being deported. While they're also the people that are targeted by the ICE department.
this is just
the
people popping all
ICE
kinds
agency.
of shit off. Like, look at this. Burning shit down.
This is
Oh, here's
ridiculous,
another one
man.
right here. Yeah, this is
Governor Newsom is calling Trump deranged for sending troops into Los Angeles to quell the illegal alien communist insurrection.
this is LA.
This is insane.
Here we go.
This is insane.
Look, they're setting shit on fire. Like, what is it? Like, a mostly peaceful fire?
That's fucking arson,
How does
dude.
this happen?
You're burning somebody's place, man. What the fuck? Right, no, that looks legal as fuck, chat.
Yeah, I'm sure this is good for everybody, right? Definitely great. Yeah, and so you have mostly peaceful fires being started. Apparently the wildfires weren't enough for them, and they started doing even more of these.
And they're burning
Obviously,
American flags? I thought that shit is illegal as fuck. Isn't that a felony charge?
Of course, burning American flags. This goes without saying. Yep,
No fucking way, dude.
that's great. Yeah, for sure.
No fucking way. These people burning American flags?
And again, I don't care if somebody
There's no respect? Holy
wants to burn the
shit.
American flag, do whatever the hell you
What?
want. But you can't do it in the middle of the fucking street. What is this? Deport
In
them? No,
LA?
the problem is that you need to get arrested for starting a fucking fire in the middle of the goddamn street. It's insane. And so anyway, you've got this stuff going on. And, oh, this is another one. This is
What
so
else do we
fucking
got
funny.
here?
Here we go. The ICE wanted them to get arrested. Well, actually, let me go back. We'll watch the rest of this. I just wanted you to see that
ICE wanted
whenever
them to
she's
riot
talking
to make
about
them look
defending
bad.
these protesters,
Fuck
these
yeah,
are
dude.
people that are breaking into businesses. They are destroying property. They are lighting random cars on fire. They are stealing things. They're vandalizing the entire place. They're throwing bricks at police officers, throwing bricks at random cars. This is in no way, shape, or form is this peaceful at all.
That shit is... oh my
It's
God.
crazy.
I want to see more of this.
Joining us to break down everything in terms of these protests is border czar Tom
Yeah,
Homan.
we're gonna go-
Tom,
I want to see the borders
how
are. What he
is
says.
ICE
Talk about it.
responding to these protests? And thanks for joining us tonight.
Look, we're going to continue doing our job. And yesterday, we got 118 arrests. You know, I was out here yesterday to kick off this operation.
118 arrests.
Yeah.
okay.
And what people aren't talking about is ICE served, you know, several warrants yesterday. These were criminal warrants. This is a criminal investigation. And
Yeah, these people don't care about that. They don't care about the well-being of anybody. They just care about pushing their ideas and feeling good about doing it.
Right.
Today,
it.
we're continuing operations. They're not going to shut us down.
Yep.
We're out there right now doing operations. We're going to keep doing operations. We brought
That's
in more
good. That's
resources
good.
to push back the protesters, but I'll say it again, a serious warning. You can protest all you want. You got your First Amendment rights.
Sure.
But if you cross that line of impediment, or you're putting hands on officers, or destroy property, you will be prosecuted. There's zero
See, like,
tolerance.
Yes,
that's
please.
the obvious.
Yes,
like, I mean, I don't know
please.
how anybody could disagree with
Cook
this.
these
I mean, like,
motherfuckers
if
real
you're
quick.
touching officers, if you're destroying property, like, yeah, you can protest. That's fine. But like,
This
what
is not
this?
peaceful. This is not peaceful.
On-
Burning
on
people's
crossing that
car,
line,
destroying
and that's what we're standing by.
property.
We're
It's
bringing
common
more
sense.
resources as we speak. We'll have more resources tonight. We're going to continue doing the job that American people voted Donald Trump in office to do. And
Right.
We're not going to apologize for doing it.
Okay, you gotta understand that it's not only just Donald Trump who thinks that border is a big problem. It's fucking Democratic Party that has always been hard on the border too. Like fucking Obama, that's a Democratic leader. He's always been like, oh dude, we need to fucking like tighten up our borders. It's Biden's bitch ass that was like, no, let's fucking open that shit up. Because I see it seems like I'm losing the next election, and they still fucking lost.
Thank you so much for being here. During the protest,
But I mean, I get it. The fact that this country is made by immigrants, right? But then that doesn't mean that you can just come over here without any type of legal papers or anything, right?
a Los Angeles City Council member called for mobilization against ICE. Listen.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's
They
insane.
know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics. because community defense works and our resistance has slowed them down before.
Mobilizing
And if they're escalating
against
their tactics, then so are we.
federal
When they
agents.
show up,
Let's do
when they
it.
show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
Stay
So, Tom, what
strapped.
the
He's telling
Trump
people to stay
administration
strapped out
take
there,
action
dude.
against these public officials
Yeah,
who are
that's the
threatening
thing.
ICE agents with resistance.
Absolutely, and I think Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice is looking at that. And
They've been looking at a lot of things. They were looking at the Epstein files too, and where are they? Like, I don't want to hear looking at it. I want to see it happening.
That's true.
Like, I'll believe this when I see it.
Let me take a look.
you know, like I said many times, these elected officials or these non-government organizations, they can't cross the line either. I mean, we got people like, you know, Hakeem Jeffries saying he's going to dox ICE employees. You know, ICE agents out there with masks on. They're wearing masks to protect themselves and their families because they've been doxxed, their families been doxxed, their life's been threatened, their families have been threatened. I know
Well,
myself.
then what? Well, then why aren't the doxers in jail? Why haven't you figured this out? Like, if you're intentionally trying to put a federal agent and a federal officer of the law's life in danger, why haven't you put them in jail? Like, that's terrorism.
That's a threat. It's a threat.
That's the problem. If this guy is going out saying that, then like where's the accountability?
Mercy to the
here?
guilty is
Because this
cruelty
is
to
the
the
problem.
innocent. That is so fucking true, though. At the end of the
problem that I
day,
think they have is that it's very obvious that this is a bad thing to have happen. But the issue is that the people that do it don't face any consequences, so more people just keep doing it. These riots would have never happened if they had called in the National Guard the moment and the police the moment that they started.
and I still think that they're not making enough arrest to the people that are rioting, right? Including the people that needs to be deported, firstly, right? Secondly, the people that are rioting should be arrested, right? I don't know, lock some motherfucker up. Right? I get that there needs to be some type of evidence when you're locking people up and charging them with federal crimes. But still, man, like, if you see somebody fucking putting hands on you, like, hit him in the head with a baton and then, like, lock him down, you know?
But because they didn't do that and they let it escalate to this now, and the ultimate consequence of this is that everybody is paying like this is all your tax money. Like, if you're an American, your tax money is getting pissed away at this bullshit because they couldn't stop it from escalating. And the way you stop it from escalating is immediately identifying the problem and solving it. But they're afraid to do that, or they refuse to do that, and then it escalates, and now everybody's spending more money and time. It's very frustrating to see.
I've had over 1,000 protesters at my house. I expect that as the borders
This
are.
is what the majority of California wants. Let them be. That's fine. But then I don't want my taxes going to them. And I think that we should treat them as a foreign nation. Like, if you
like how California has been talking about, like, oh, dude, we want to be our own country type shit and be separated from the United States. And now people are like, dude, we don't consider California to be part of the United States. Like, fuck that little place. Whatever those crazy people called home is not right, dude. But at a certain point, I feel like at a certain point, the state's going to turn red. Right? There's no fucking way that we can keep going on like this with these stupid ass riots in these huge cities when people are trying to get to work and shit.
you want to go
Unemployed
down
as
that
fuck.
route, that's fine. But, like, then, okay, let's go down that route. The fact is that California, like, I mean, it's a state.
I don't understand all these fucking bail reform, like fucking imprisonment reform, criminal reform. Like, shut the fuck up. The only reform that you should be doing is handing out more fucking punishment instead of giving them less, right? These people are like, no, we want them to get out sooner and have a second chance. No, some of these people just don't give a fuck, if I'm being goddamn honest, right? Like, the fact that we're like, dude, just let them out because we don't have enough money to keep them is the most ridiculous way of thinking, right? There's no consequences whatsoever by committing a crime in California right now. That's the biggest problem. These people don't give a fuck because they know that you can't touch them.
It's not its own country. Like, we fought a whole civil war over this. Like, do we really have to go back to 1965 to refigure the same things out again? I don't think that we need to.
But these
It's
men and women are
outrageous.
putting their lives online every day. They
That place
arrested
is
a lot of
bad.
bad people yesterday and today. They arrested.
Well, your taxes don't go to California; theirs go to you. What happens when California gets attacked? What happens if China attacks California? What happens if Russia attacks California? What happens if Japan attacks California? Well, I'll tell you what happens. The federal government and the federal military ensures that California is safe. That's the way it works. And so you're saying the federal taxes don't go to like California. It absolutely does.
It does.
They
yes.
enjoy a complete privilege and absolute certainty of protection because of their existence inside of the United States and because of their protection under the United States military.
But that doesn't matter though, right? It's not like we want their protection at all, right? We want the fucking state to burn. At the
That's
end
the
of
reality.
the day.
Child sex offenders. They arrested people convicted of robbery. They arrested public safety, not only significant public safety threats, but national security threats. They arrested gang members. We're making Los Angeles safer. And Mayor,
somebody says a lot of people in California don't support this. I know. I know. Like, listen. Like most places, it's not like 100%, 0%.
You know, the way that I see it is that these Democratic parties, these far left individuals are so out of their mind that the only thing that they can do is to villainize anybody that has a certain or different idea than they ever has, right? Like the fact that anything that goes against their ideal causes them to fucking riot and start going crazy and I don't know, do shit like this is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Like
one side. I get that there's a lot of Californians that think this is fucking ridiculous too, and I get it. It sucks, and I think that
I'm not gonna lie though, Californian does make a lot more money and they do pay a lot more taxes. That is the unfortunate truth, right? But at the end of the day, right?
Everybody can commiserate with you. Yeah.
As much as we hate the politics within California, right? As much as I hate the politics in California, it's still a very, very nice place to be. And the truth is they pay a lot more taxes. They pay a lot more taxes
it
for no
sucks
fucking
that your
reason.
government is like this.
It sucks.
Mayor Bass ought to be thanking us for making her city safer. And the term migrant, as Joe Concha rightfully said earlier,
and a lot of these people are so fucking blind. Like they can't see that these so-called democratic leaders are lying straight to their face. Tell them that things are going to be better when all they can do is literally tax the fuck out of you and fill their pockets with it. Right? I've never seen any of these so-called democratic leaders have less than $20 million worth of net worth, dude. I just don't understand it. Like all these Democratic politicians are some of the most corrupt people in this fucking world.
There are illegal aliens in this country, and we welcome. We're the most.
But then we buy
country in
into
the
their
world. But
bullshit,
these are illegal
right?
aliens
Their so-called
who committed a crime
progressiveness,
by
right? You can hide anything behind a word and call it that. Right? You can, it's just like, this feels exactly like Helldivers 2 or like just Helldivers where they hide, you know, your inability to be free behind the word, what is it? A managed democracy, right? Yeah, sure, it's democracy. You get to vote, but then we think that you're not going to be making the best decision. So we build an AI to help you make the best decision. This feels like that.
Crossed this border legally, then yet committed another crime. Again,
telling you one thing and it's a different thing, right? It's not democracy, it's dictatorship. I'm just calling it a different thing. What are you gonna fucking do? It's brainwash.
This is about a criminal investigation.
That's why constantly compare the far left to communism, because the only thing they can do is villainize and propaganda, and it just makes no sense.
Into money laundering, tax evasion, and some of the funds going to cartels in Mexico and Colombia that fund their operations of sending narcotics to this country, killing American people. This is about enforcing the law, and again, we're not going to apologize for doing it. We're stepping up. She says they're going to mobilize. Well, guess what? We're already ahead of the game. We're already mobilizing. We're going to bring National Guard in tonight. We're going to continue doing our job. We're going to push back on these people, and we're going to force the law.
Tom, it's
Thank fucking God, bro. I've been waiting on this forever. This is what they should have done back in 2020.
And I want to ask you a little bit more about these Democrat demands that ICE agents be unmasked. Some Democrats are saying that if they don't unmask, they're threatening to dox them. Listen to this.
What the fuck, dude?
I
That
don't
shit is
know
illegal as
of
hell too.
any police department that routinely wears masks. We know that there are other groups that routinely wear masks. NSC 131 routinely.
Okay, what about the people that are destroying properties that are also wearing fucking masks? Oh, why don't they put down their fucking mask, dude? At least the ICE agents are all within the fucking spreadsheet. You can see their head counts and you know where the fuck they are. Compared to these motherfuckers who are literally inciting riots and insurgency within the country.
Masks.
Sending
who has masks on, you don't know who the fuck they are.
Snatch, kidnap, and disappear immigrants of all legal.
To disappear them. I love the language there. It's always the
so
emotional escalation of the language.
And it makes no sense. First, it makes no sense. It's ethos, and they're trying to get into your brain. They're trying to make you feel bad. But then at the end of the day, you shouldn't, because whatever they said made no sense in the first place, right? Why should I feel bad to kick somebody out of my house when I don't want them in here in the first place? Why should I feel bad about that? That is my biggest questions at the end of the day, right? But they make it sound like you should welcome everybody into your home with welcoming, with a hug, with, you know, like, even if they have a gun towards your fucking temple. This is the ridiculousness that I see in the Democratic Party.
Across the country.
Every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified.
Tom, I wonder if you can speak to that a little bit. Explain to us more, help everyone understand the threat that our ICE agents are facing by just doing their job, why they need to wear these masks.
Now, the way I see it is that the reason why the ICE agents needs to wear the mask is because they're being threatened by the rioters, right? If they're being threatened by the rioters, and the fact that the rioters are wearing a mask to the point where you can't tell who they are, you would be scared that they would come for your family, right? Because at the end of the day, these are your enemies, right? Even though the state says so, right? But these people take it way too personal, right? These rioters, they're like, dude, I'm going to fuck your mom. I'm going to kill your kids type shit, right? These people are fucking unhinged, right? Of course I'm going to wear a mask to protect myself from these unhinged individuals that are wearing masks against me, right? So that they don't come and hurt my family, right? They're documented. They're all in a spreadsheet. They have head counts. We know who the fuck they are. That's why they have to wear masks to protect their identity so people don't attack their houses. Right? But these people, you don't know who they are. You don't know who these people are. Right? Okay, I would like me and my family to get deported so I don't have to be in the US because of the war. That's definitely going to start. Some type of civil war is about to start, right? As I said, right? Like, you know, all we are missing is a gunshot. Is somebody being stupid enough to fire that first AR shot into a crowd? That's it. That's it, chat. Civil war starts. Chat, we just need one bullet. That's it. But at the end of the day, man, this place is so fucking cooked. Let me tell you, dude. It's not a good place to be, especially now, right? Especially for these documented ICE agents. They're literally risking their families' lives. They're risking their own lives to help us. And they're being questioned in terms of why they have to wear a mask. Why do you think they have to wear a mask? Because their fucking names are in a database somewhere that somebody can get to. Compare these fucking rioters. We don't know who the fuck these rioters are.
Attack their family, attack their kids, or do something like that to them. So
and the truth is, these Democratic people, sometimes they would fucking do that. They would actually go and do that, right? I have never seen Republicans do that, you know, to literally, you know, get their rights taken away. But Democrats would do that shit. You know, just to escalate the situation enough to make you see that, oh, this shit is not worth it. They are legit villains.
Really, what they're advocating for is outsourcing terrorism to the most extreme group that they are a part of. If these people are releasing the names of the ICE agents, I think try them for terrorism.
Right.
I think do it. Like, and especially if they're public officials. Because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really tired of public officials doing things that they shouldn't be allowed to do and getting away with it. I think we need to bring back a higher degree of accountability. I'm so sick of this treason, not terrorism. If you want to, if you think you can charge them for that, I would be in favor of it, but I don't think you can. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, wait, not right now though, right? But inciting treason, right? Like, I wouldn't say it was a successful attempt, right? But still.
But either
way,
the
mindset's wrong.
Like, yeah, somebody's got to do it. Yeah, somebody has to do this because, like, and this isn't also like this isn't really just a Democrat thing. Republicans do this too, and I just think in a general sense,
They do.
I think that the public is fatigued from having a bunch of these like politicians and these people who are community leaders who openly break the law, who openly defy federal officers, who openly vandalize things, advocate for violence, and do this stuff. And there's seemingly no consequence for it at all.
Right.
There's no consequence. Nothing ever happens to them. And like they can come up on Fox News and talk a big talk. That's nice. When are you going to arrest these people? When are these people going to actually go to jail? Because if you do that, that's what's really going to matter. Fatigued, coded language. Thank you.
Look, it's incredible. We're at a place where the guys, the men and women who enforce law, they're the bad guys, and the ones who break the law are the victims. You kidding me? How can they say anything about BLM? They're out there. They wear a mask. How about the protesters?
He's completely right. Yeah, he had no problem. They had no problem with mass protesters doing this. They were never complaining about masks whenever it was protesters for Palestine.
Dude, Iran is... I just feel bad for Iran. Like, the fact that they just got bombed by Israel and now Trump is like, yo, no, fuck them too, and then just bombed them the fuck out. This is so bad, dude. I mean, Trump is cool, but don't start attacking now. The thing is... Trump has good policies, but then he also execute on like shitty ass policies, like getting us into war. Like that shit is not our problem, dude. Like why the fuck are we firing missiles and shit? Why the fuck, dude?
Destroying property and shutting down college campuses. Now it's an issue because it's you know, the officers.
He said that we fucked their nuclear bunkers up, so that's kind of crazy too.
Doing it. Antifa's always
they were protesting against Israel and the Jewish students. They're wearing masks. I didn't hear a word about that for these protesters wearing masks.
And this is another really important thing to keep in mind is that almost all of the people that are advocates for this are simply advocating for it under a power principle. There isn't really there is no like guiding moral.
Other countries will want to get involved. Why wouldn't they? Right? We're one of the strongest power in the world. And also, well, I mean, okay, one of the biggest problem is that even if some of the biggest country wants to, like Russia, right, they kind of couldn't because they're already at war with Ukraine. And technically we're supporting Ukraine. So, you know, we're already at war with Russia, you know. So if anything, the biggest threat would be from probably like China when they decide to take Taiwan, which is gonna happen within the next 50 years because Xi Jinping's so fucking old and he wants some legacy he wants legacy, right? Xi Jinping wants some legacy. Mao, you know, for his name. I think that he's gonna attack Taiwan. And when that happens, America is not gonna stand aside and he's gonna, you know, Uncle Sam's gonna wanna send some troops over. Right? I feel like America is overextending, especially now that we can't even take care of our own fucking country, right? We're fucking inciting riots everywhere. Portland, LA, fucking, I don't know, New York, people robbing places. I thought the riot was gonna stop soon, like within a week type shit. No, bro, it's been 2 weeks. It's still going on. That's the crazy part.
Philosophy of this. There's no ethical.
I hope the CIA really got some secret weapons or some shit so I have enough time to work out. Yo, for real, dude.
Foundation for this. There's a very simple, I want to control you and tell you what to do. So I'm going to advocate for this whenever it's in my best interest, and I'm going to advocate for the exact same thing. I'm going to advocate against it whenever it's not in my best interest. There's no principle to this at all. And it's important to keep that in mind because then you know the rules of engagement with people that are like this.
These states are wearing masks for one reason, because the assault on ICE officers is up over 400%. The assault on ICE officers. Right. They're being doxxed across the country.
They're trying to dodge responsibilities. Why the fuck do you think that they're wearing masks in the first place? They don't want you to see their face.
And their families are being attacked. Their families are being doxxed.
Now I remember this happening in like fucking Hong Kong where there was a bunch of like riots and protests and people were wearing masks and then then China was like, dude, it's illegal to wear masks now. Now I don't agree with that. Like I still think that people have the rights to wear masks. And what the fuck? This is so fucking stupid. I don't know if y'all remember like back in COVID, all the LA people were like, no, who the fuck wear masks, dude? I'm not gonna listen to the government. Fuck the government telling me to wear masks and stay indoors. Fuck that. That's what the LA people were doing. Now during the riots, they're like, no, don't ask me to take off my mask. I want to keep it on. Dude, they are completely ignoring how a mask should be used, man. That shit, the original purpose of a mask is not to block your identity. It's to stop you from getting sick. I like how they completely just turn it around. They're like, dude, no, I'm not gonna wear a mask and just gonna die from COVID in LA, right? Like a couple years back, I saw these videos. These people are like walking around with no mask on. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Right? And then now they're like, no, don't ask us to put off our mask because I don't want my identity to be, to be out there. No, bro. The fuck? LA is so stupid sometimes. LA is one of the stupidest city. Like, it's filled with rich people, but dumb. That's the way I fucking see it, right? And even these fucking, like, whatever protests going on. So fucking stupid, man.
Their families are being threatened. And I certainly understand it. I have a lot of death threats. I've been doxxed. My family's been doxxed. I understand it. But
makes sense.
They're wearing masks for one reason only.
Everybody.
Protect themselves and their families. They're doing it.
Yeah, they are. And that's the reason, by the way, there is no other reason to post a person's full name and address other than to open that person up for effectively being attacked.
Right.
Like, that's effectively what you're doing. There's no other reason to do it.
Right? The only reason you would put somebody's address on top is that you expect other people to see it and be like, I want to go and bomb this place. Right? That would be the only reason. You expect bad things to happen to it if you do it online, because only bad things happen. And the of was automatically put there. Oh, I see. Oh.
And it's not, and
so in the middle, is that a search? I see.
Here's also the thing too, is that most people don't live alone, or at least in a lot of cases they don't. So you're doing crazy AoE damage with this. Cartels don't fuck around. Well, it's not even about cartels.
And also kids, right?
Like, I'm just saying, like, these are just like average American citizens, that's it. And so, like, doxing is like casting weakness. Yeah, it is. Well, it's like more like casting hunter's mark. If you have to, if you want to get into a WoW term, that's where I would put it.
Something like that.
But
Hunter's mark. You getting crit for sure, dude. People going backstab you.
Way, it should be attempted murder. I think that it should.
I feel like if you're high level enough, it should be considered attempted murder, to the point where these people are a constant fear of what the cartel is going to do, because that's who they deal with most of the time.
Be endangerment, or it should be something, right? But like, it should be treated as, in my opinion, I think doxing.
It's dangerous.
The goal of doxing is to terrorize somebody.
Right.
That is the purpose and the
I mean, okay, what would be the reason for somebody to dox your name, right? You expect Santa Claus to come over and give you a gift? No, fuck that, right? They expect some bad shit to happen to you. That's the reason why they put your address online. Not because they think that somebody's going to ship you a $10,000 car, right? But because somebody's going to steal your $10,000 car.
Goal of doxing. It's to make them afraid of for their life, and it's to make them worried that somebody else would hurt them. That is absolutely what they're doing. Call it what it is.
Right.
That's it. Just call it what it. Like, I mean, that's really it's it. It should be a felony. It should be, yes.
Dangerous job. This is already a dangerous job. They got to wear a gun. They got to wear a Kevlar vest every day, because they're doing a dangerous job every day. While the rest of these people, like Hakeem Jeffries, is sleeping in his bed at night at 3 a.m., nice and comfortably and safe, there's men and women of ICE on the street doing surveillance on significant...
These people have no brains. He's exactly right, right? There are people that are actually risking their lives to protect you, who doxed me, right? To the people who we are trying to protect you from. That's the crazy part that I don't see the logic. That's flowing inside the brains of LA citizens. I just don't get it. Like, why does that make sense to them?
Public safety threats. Really bad care.
Right? Like, you're literally putting my safety on the line when I'm trying to protect you from the people that are trying to attack you. Like, it's like you want to fucking die. Okay, sometimes you can't help people who don't want to be helped, chat. That's the way I see it, right? Just let LA be a Mexican city at this point, right? Because fuck it, right? These people want LA to be returned to Mexico, right? They're waving Mexican flags. I don't know. Let them see what it's like to be a Mexican city instead of an American city. That's the way I see it. And now, from now on, LA should only accept pesos. Is the way I see it.
They're taking them on every day. The men and women board
no more United States dollars
every night, 3 a.m., taking on the bad guy. So this is another threat against ICE agents.
And it's to silence people in the future through fear? Well, that's the goal of terrorism. The goal of terrorism is to do something that is disproportionate and scary That way, it makes other people afraid of doing the same thing and pushing out against it.
The funny thing is that they're willing to do that to other people. They want other people to taste the consequences of their own action when we shouldn't, right? While they're the people who should be tasting their own consequences, right? They're literally getting it so wrong, right? They're not learning.
For example, like you have people that do this on Twitter where, you know, somebody says something that's like off, you know, like politically off, they immediately get pilloried, right? They get attacked by everybody. And so that's it. That's how terror works. Yeah, exactly. You're discussing an authoritarian government. Well, yeah, I mean, I would want to have criminals feel afraid. I would want them to be afraid. But the issue is that, and this is the problem, the reason why you call it vigilante justice is because it's not actual justice, or you could just call it justice. It's a form of it, but it's certainly not accurate.
And we're asking...
Man, y'all know why there are no thieves back in like ancient China, chat? That's because if you fucking steal, we hang you outside at the door and be like, yo, look at this motherfucker. We gonna chop his dick off and sell it off, right? Man, nobody gonna do that shit again. You know? They fucking, yeah, like ancient China, man. If you try to steal, they get you completely naked. They take all your clothes and they literally strap you to like some kind of like wooden board and leave you outside to just cook in the sun, you know, completely naked, right? Just make sure you don't fucking do it again. Consequences.
The Department of Justice will look
at. But no, they think that, oh, if you steal less than $950 is not a felony, is a misdemeanor. Like, no, if you steal, you should go to jail.
These statements and see if there's something we can do. When do you cross that line on threatening ICE officers? And here's the problem. You know, you got all these people now attacking ICE. You saw they're writing death to ICE agents. ICE agents been threatened. Their families been threatened. And you got members of Congress. You got some judges out there that compare ICE to the KKK, ICE to the Nazis. You got city.
I mean, like, that's stupid to do, but like that's small potatoes compared to actual doxing. Like actual doxing, like that's stupid, but like I don't like calling ICE Nazis. I don't want somebody to go to jail for that. Doxing somebody, posting their home address, I do want them to go to jail for that. Absolutely.
Council people saying ICE are terrorists. They're feeding the hatred. And here's my concern. I've been doing this for a long time. It's a matter of time before ICE takes a life or an ICE agent loses their life.
Apparently, Tom was watching the stream yesterday before he went live on Fox. This is exactly what I said.
Shit, dude.
This is a pressure.
All it takes is one shot, chat. All it takes is one shot.
Pressure cooker. And the longer that you let it go, the higher the probability is that there's going to be a pop-off situation.
That's exactly what I'm saying, right? All it takes is one fucking shot. If this keeps going on, either side, one of these motherfuckers pull out and like a 9mm, right? Stray bullets hit someone. We're cooked, right? Civil war.
There's a rhetoric is at an
it's going
all-time
on
high, and it's
for
being
way too
fed
far,
by people
far too long.
Who should be more responsible? Elected officials especially, who keep firing up this rhetoric. I'm telling you, it's coming. There's going to be a tragedy because they keep throwing gas on this flame.
Yeah, of course. I mean, eventually it will happen. And when it does happen, you're not hearing what he's saying. He's saying congressmen call ICE agents Nazis, which incentivize the crowd. I mean, yes, I understand that. And I think it's bad that they say that. But I'm just giving you, like, I think that's freedom of speech, even though I fucking hate it. Like, I think it's massively irresponsible, and you should never get voted for again if you ever say that. But I still do have a principled stance that I think that is freedom of speech, even though I think it's awful.
No, people should have the ability to voice their opinion, even if it's bad.
He's not saying to ban it. Yeah. That's my.
And Tom,
by the way, this was like a 4 or 5 minute video. I think might have been 3. I don't know if it got cut.
Deportations. We thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Tom Homan.
Hey, Sean Hannity
well,
here.
There it is. I mean, like, I'm glad to see them do what's happening.
New York City, at least 20 protesters are detained after...
Oh my God, look at New York. New York's getting cooked too.
...storming ICE headquarters in Lower Manhattan. Fox News contributor and retired NYPD Inspector Paul Morrow joins us now. Great to see you this morning, Paul. So how much more complicated is all of this because Democrat politicians in these sanctuary cities are not cooperating with ICE and helping them do their job?
They've caused this problem.
Well,
themselves.
enormously so for all of the obvious reasons. And you don't have to look any further than the instance that we had with the Wisconsin judge, where you had an illegal accused of a serious assault, domestic, and the ICE agents did everything they could to tamp things down, to do things professionally, didn't go into the courtroom, waited in the hallway. It should have been a simple handoff.
Talk about
And
escalation.
I should mention that grabbing fugitives in that manner is not uncommon in law enforcement. And yet they bumped into an ideologue who wanted to adhere to this sanctuary city doctrine. So
does this place looks like a sanctuary to you, chat? Tell me, chat, does this picture scream sanctuary to you, chat? Does this picture right here of New York, LA, whatever the fuck this place is, screams sanctuary to you, chat? A burning car in the middle of the road. What does that tell you?
It's a sanctuary city, can't you tell? Because everything's on fire.
Why the fuck's Asmongold saying the same fucking thing I'm saying, dude?
She interfered with
everything's on fucking fire. Oh my god.
Federal operations and snuck the guy out the side door. That's the
fucking what a great city, dude.
level
Sanctuary
amazing
city.
that the left has progressed or regressed to relative to these sanctuary policies. And it's just become a virtue signaling contest. You know, ironically, Charlie, this stuff began in order to protect immigrants who were afraid to go to the police because of their out of status, legal status, immigration status. And instead, it has now progressed to the point where these same groups are afraid to go to the police because the local prosecutors won't do anything to the perpetrators. So they know if they report to the police, as we had in that Wisconsin case, the perps are going to get right out, and then they're in danger. They're undermining the very thing they were trying to do.
Yeah,
that is so true, dude. Well, at the end of the day, chat, LA's cooked, New York's cooked, all the blue cities fucking cooked. Not because of the policies that are shit, not because of the stuff that Trump is doing. It's because of the people that doesn't agree with common sense. That's cooking these cities, chat. At the end of the day, the way I see it is, this is a picture of sanctuary city for you, chat. That's it. This is what a sanctuary city looks like. And at the end of the day, man,